guys, this is Zane from Anything for Geeks, and today we are going to discuss the Perilous Permian. Whoops. And we left off last time with the Carboniferous in our series on evolution, and today we're going to continue that, and so we're going to talk about the Permian Period, and stay tuned for this has a lot of interesting stuff in this period. So, to start, we left off at the end of the Carboniferous, and in the Carboniferous there were a lot of trees. Everything was tropical and lush, but in the Permian things started to change a lot because, carbon dioxide was running out. There was a lot of oxygen in the air. And we don't know why exactly, but the earth began to dry up a lot. There had been volcanic eruptions in Siberia, lots of glaciation happening in the North and South poles, and this led to a very dry period that's called Permian. And in the Permian, a new type of animal was supreme, and those were the Synapsids. So we started with the Synapsids in the Carboniferous. They were tiny, they looked like lizards, which they were not though. And we know that they were the ancestors of all mammals, including us. And we also had another video about a Dimetrodon, which was one of the major predatory Synapsids during the early Permian. So yeah, this is a Dimetrodon, this is a Synapsid. And what makes the Synapsids different from other reptiles or reptile-like animals is that they have one hole behind their eyes in their skulls. Now, humans don't have that hole because that went away, but our earliest ancestors had a hole right behind the eye, but not quite near the ears, and it was called a fenestra, and all Synapsids used to have this hole, and that's what makes Synapsids mostly different from other reptiles. However, there's also another difference. So, this toy doesn't show that. A lot of Synapsids developed a feature known as heterodonty, and if you've heard about a dinosaur called Heterodontosaurus, you'll notice that both have the word heterodont, and a heterodont means different or other tooth. And that's because while in diapsids, which are reptiles as we know them today, and birds and dinosaurs, they only had canine teeth. They were all sharp or all for chewing, but Synapsids had every different kind of tooth possible in one mouth. That's called heterodonty. And you can still see this in humans. For example, we have incisors, canines, premolars, molars, etc. And this feature is unique to Synapsids and a few dinosaurs. So yeah, that's what heterodonty is. Now let's continue with the types of Synapsids. So as I mentioned before, Dimetrodon is a Synapsid. It belongs to a family known as the Pelycosaurs, which were predominantly known for their lizard-like body, and many of them had huge sails, but a lot didn't. Dimetrodon had a huge sail. We don't know what the sail was used for though, so yeah, that's just a cool feature. There are other groups of Synapsids, such as the Casiosaurs, or the Casiomorphs, yes. Those are animals that are related to the Synapsid called Casiosaurus, and these both were early Synapsids. They're they don't look too much different from reptiles, but that would change in the late Permian. We start having groups called the Therapsids, and the Therapsids are roughly translates to beast-like or mammal-like. And during this time, the Synapsids are called mammal-like reptiles, though that is actually a misnomer because synapsids are not actually reptiles. True reptiles, in fact, are only in what we think of as a reptile, like a lizard, a crocodile, a dinosaur, for example. Do not use the term mammal-like reptiles because it's incorrect. Just side note. So the Therapsids had a lot of different groups. For example, they included the mammaliforms, which were mammals, and our closest ancestors, animals like Adelobacillus, which was actually a Triassic animal but still a descendant of the Therapsids, was a mammaliform. Castricata, a beaver-like animal, was included in the mammaliforms. And of course, modern-day mammals such as you or me, a dog, all are mammaliforms. And then there are lots of synapsids out there. So yeah, that's basically the synapsids. At the end of the Permian, so we're concluding with the Permian here. At the end of the Permian, there was a huge mass extinction event called the Great Dying. And it was definitely not great for the people or the animals who were dying, but in terms of magnitude and size, it was pretty great. A lot of things caused this. First of all, the earth was drying up more and more and more and turning into desert. And there were a lot of seismic activity, earthquakes, tsunamis, due to Earth forming into Pangea. All the continents were coming together, lots of volcanic eruptions, as I mentioned before. And there was also an asteroid, kind of like the one that killed off the dinosaurs, but not that one. And this asteroid came and everything went kaboom. And 99% of all living things during that time just went extinct. It's why it's called the Great Dying. Most of the synapsids died, so goodbye Dimetrodon. Most of the therapsids died. Only a few mammaliforms and some other groups still survived. Many of the reptiles survived, though. They would called the archosaurs, and that meant ruling reptiles because in the Triassic they would be the ancestors of the first dinosaurs ever, which was interesting. Other reptiles survived, say lizards, because obviously we have lizards today. The ancestors of the modern day Tuatara survived. A lot of amphibians survived. Marine life was devastatingly hit, but fish made it through. Marine reptiles surprisingly made it through, the ancestors of the Nothosaurs and the Plesiosaurs, and the ancestors of turtles, and etc. So, yeah, but trilobites were completely wiped out by the Great Dying, and a lot of other stuff were dying, the ancestors and the cousins of today's Nautilus wiped out. Only one modern-day Nautilus survived. Yes, so that's basically it for today. Stay tuned for the next time, in which we'll be covering the Triassic period, and also please like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Yeah, so stay tuned. Bye!